What's going on, guys? It's Hi, and I was very excited to bring you this video because I was recently sent this, the Sirui Swift M1, a new mobile gimbal soon to be released. As far as I know, I'm the first to receive this gimbal and really showcase it, but unfortunately, things are not working out very well. Based on the marketing that I saw for this product prior to receiving it, everything was looking very promising and I was quite excited to actually try it out. But after getting it in hand, I've actually ran into some issues that have made me completely given up on this gimbal, and at this moment, I cannot recommend it to you. Prior to this video, I actually made an unboxing and first impressions of this device when I first got it, so I'd like to show you that now just to kind of set the stage for the rest of the video, so let's see it. This is the new Sirui Swift M1, and I figured because this is a first look at this product, we'd do a little unboxing to see exactly what we get. As you can see, there is still cellophane on this box. I haven't opened this thing up yet. I haven't seen it aside from these images, so we get to experience this together. With that said, let's get into this box. So first off, falling out of the box, as you can see, we have a little inspection tag and of course the instruction manual. Then we have the gimbal carrying case, and as you can see, it's the typical styrofoam carrying case that many gimbals come with nowadays. Let's open this thing up. Very tight box, super tight box. And there is our gimbal. So let's just go through this box and see exactly what we get. As you can see at the top, more instructions. Down in the center, we have the gimbal, a little carrying bag, tripod foot with the USB micro, still using USB micro in this day and age instead of USB-C, so I would have to say that I'm a bit disappointed by this. But with that minor stuff aside, let's get the Swift M1 out of this case and see what it's all about. So here is the Sirui Swift M1 itself, and as you can see, it's an interesting looking gimbal to say the least. I've definitely never seen a gimbal orientated or situated like this. This one is obviously of modular or folding design to try to help and minimize the travel size, and if you look at on the various axes, you can see that there are lock and unlock indicators to try to point you towards how to open this thing up. I've kind of read over the quick instructions on the box lid, so let's see if we can open this thing. So unlock is left. Let's turn that. You have to be a little bit forceful, okay. And then this one is flip up. Again, scratching it up already. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Oh, you have to turn this in a little bit more so you can flip this up. Oh crap. Uh-oh. I think I'm doing something wrong. So this is unlocked already, so let's... What? Okay. Okay, that one pops up like that. And then... Are we good? Yep, I think we are good now. So as someone trying to open this thing up for the first time, I would definitely have to say that it's a little bit fiddly. It's definitely not the most intuitive design in the world. It may save some space, but even if you read over those instructions, I mean, you kind of have to play with it for yourself to really figure out how to do this thing. And as you can see on my first try, maybe you can or can't pick that up, but there are scratches. So all those scratches on this brand new gimbal already. So I'm kind of worried about, oh, look at those dents. I'm kind of worried about the long-term aesthetics of this thing. So because opening the gimbal was a little bit difficult, I'm going to go ahead and try to close this thing up. And we do that by lifting this arm up. This breaks this way. Spin upside down. And this locks here, this locks here, maybe, lock, and we are good. So in my opinion, this gimbal is just poorly designed. The folding concept by now is really nothing new. A few other modern mobile gimbals have employed this strategy to really try to cut down and save some space, but if you look at those other gimbals, they are a lot simpler. With those other folding gimbals, you generally have something like the upper section of the gimbal folding down over the handle, and that's about it. With the Swift M1, you have multiple points of articulation and multiple folds that you have to go through in order to get this down to its storage mode. In practice, this just means that it's going to be harder to fold down this gimbal. And sure, once you understand how everything works and you get used to the folding procedure, everything becomes easier, but in my opinion, it just never feels right. This gimbal is largely made out of plastic, and with the force that's needed to lock and unlock some of these points, I just feel like I'm eventually going to break something. Maybe I'm just being paranoid, maybe nothing will break, and I hope that nothing will break, but there's another problem with the folding procedure. I can almost guarantee that you would damage this handle just by folding and unfolding this gimbal like you saw I did in the unboxing, and this mainly has to do with this phone mount. If we look at the Swift M1 when it's folded down, you see that the phone mount wraps around and cradles the gimbal handle, and in order to get this thing ready for use, we have to unlock it as diagrammed here. We have to turn this thing left, and the problem with this is that it takes quite a bit of force, so every time that you unlock it, the edge portion of this phone mount rubs against the handle, and as you can see, there is some minor scratching. From here, there are two other points that we have to unlock. I'd suggest that you unlock this point first by pivoting the handle out, because if you were to unlock this point first, when you break this point, the top corner of the phone mount will damage the handle further, as you can see right there. So in my opinion, the proper way and the least damaging way to unlock this gimbal is to first do the phone mount, then swing the handle out, and lastly, unlock the roll motor. Then to fold the gimbal back down, we just reverse that process by first locking the roll motor, inverting the handle, and lastly, locking the phone mount down. So different people may have different opinions about the folding design. Some people may like it and just think that I'm being nitpicky, and that's fine. But there's one other thing that really absolutely ruined this gimbal for me. Well, if you've been paying attention, you'd notice that the OLED screen on this gimbal has been on this entire time, and this isn't supposed to be so. This screen is only supposed to be on when the gimbal is powered on and in use. So this essentially tells you that my gimbal is bricked. As you can see, the screen is on, but the gimbal motors are off. So it's like the gimbal thinks that it's both on and off at the same time. And I can't restart this gimbal. I can't do anything. This thing is essentially paperweight, and this happened after a firmware upgrade. Like with many other gimbals, you go in the app, click update firmware, it goes through the process, restart the gimbal, and you should be good to go. Except with mine, it restarted in this bricked state. So as of right now, this thing is pretty much useless. The only idea that I have to get it going again is to just let the gimbal die out, and hopefully when I plug it in to charge, it'll restart and work properly. But the problem with this is that, like I said, this thing is pretty much off. The only thing that's on is the screen, which draws little to no power at all. So it'll take forever for this thing to actually die out. This gimbal has technically been on for days, and it still shows a full charge. So powering it down completely could take weeks, if not months. But at this point, really, I can't do anything about it. I just have to wait it out. I am so glad that this product was sent to me for free for review, because had I purchased it with my own money and this happened, I would be pissed. Don't get me wrong, aside from the folding design, this gimbal was actually pretty good when it was working. This gimbal actually has a lot of nice and useful features and functions like it was supposed to until the firmware upgrade ruined everything. And because this is a firmware issue, I have little doubts that this is something that Sirui can't fix. So hopefully when they see this video, they pull the bad firmware, update it, and get a new one out before this happens to anyone else. But as for me, I don't know. I'm kind of in limbo right now, so hopefully I can get this fixed. If not, I don't know what to tell you. If you are interested in purchasing this gimbal for yourself, I would just have to say to be careful. Realize that the folding design is finicky. It works, but it definitely is not the best implementation. Also, do not upgrade the firmware for this gimbal unless you can get an absolute confirmation from Sirui or some other credible source that it will not brick your gimbal. Just make sure that the firmware has been fixed. I cannot stress this enough. Other than that, if you decide to pick this gimbal up for yourself, I hope it works out for you. Like I said, it has some pretty nice features and actually was working pretty well when it was functioning properly, so I can see why you'd be interested in this thing. I hope this video has helped you out. If it did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it around, comment down below any thoughts or questions you may have. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more content. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.